Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Masterclass, and hosted by Restherbridge Limited. My name is Radiant Ikemiliton, and it's a privilege to be taking this class again today. Last week, Sunday, I started the course on personal branding for Realtors. Yeah, so we talked about a couple of things, and then today we're going to be continuing from where we stopped. So while I wait for a few persons to join us, sorry we are starting a bit late. Um, while I wait for a few persons to join us, if you have your notes from last week, I'd like you to bring it out. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is Realtors Masterclass trainings organized by Restherbridge Limited. It's been going on for 5 weeks now. So we've talked about marketing, social media marketing, running ads on meta platforms like Facebook, Instagram, how to set up your ad account, ads managers, boosting ads, and all of those things. Last week I started with personal branding for realtors, and today I'll be continuing with it. So if you've been here in the past 4 to 5 weeks and you'll be getting value, I'd like you to comment now. Many times after the live classes, the comments you drop on the videos disappear. So I'd like you to go back to our page, go back to the videos, go back to the comment section and drop your comments. I know you've gotten value in the last couple of weeks. Yes. So go back to the pages and drop your comment on those videos, on some of those classes. And of course, whatever comments you want to drop them there. Let people see that people saw these videos and they commented. And also um, subscribe to our page, and make sure that you follow us for of course, follow our social media handles for updates on our projects and all our properties. So I think 5 persons have joined us. Please, I'd like to know if you can hear me and if you're ready for the class. So I'd like you to comment in the comment section that you can hear me and you're ready for the class, and then I'll get started. Okay, loud and clear. Thank you, Ejimo Abasodofia. Thank you, Patricia Ededet. Thank you for joining us. Can we have other people? We have 5 persons online. Can we have more people? Okay, let me get started. So last week I talked about personal branding and I ran through personal development. I ran through brand identity. I ran through being consistent online. I talked about crafting your own message. I talked about colors, typography, brand logos. I talked about the fact that you have to be consistent across all social media handles. Yes, don't be um, Okon housing on social media and housing Okon on Okon housing on Facebook and housing Okon on Instagram. You have to be consistent all through. I talked about um, I talked about a couple of things. Yes, a lot of things. So if you were here in last week class, I'd like you to comment one of the things you heard me talk about that you felt like you picked and you've improved on or you're working on. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because this class is very, very practical. Now, it's not just about us coming here week in, week out to just drop stuff, drop stuff. We want to be sure that the things we are dropping, you are actually practicing them, you are using them, and they are working for you. So, I'd like you to drop something from last week that you got. I'm going to start the class fully from 8:15. So, within the next 3 minutes, I'd like you to drop something from last week class that you picked of all the things I talked about, something you picked or something you remember, something you're working on. I'd like you to drop it in the comment section. I want to see it. I want to see it. So I'm going to be um, bringing it up on the screen as you drop it. So this is 12 minutes past 8. I'm going to start by 15 minutes past 8. My class today is just going to be 45 minutes, okay? And then I'm going to have questions and answer at the end. Yeah, so I'm waiting for you guys to drop the things you got last week. So that those that were not here last week can also pick from it. Okay, consistency is showing up as well as having a brand color that's unique to me on personal branding. Thank you very much, Edemo Basi. Can someone else reiterate or drop something you learned from last week? This is the difference between myself and Esther. This is how I love to teach my class. I like to pick up from where I started and continue from there. And I also love to, be sure that people actually followed me. And one of the ways to be sure is when I ask questions and I get feedback. Yeah, so I love feedbacks a lot. So which is why I'm asking this. And it's a minute before I start today's class. I have 12 persons online. I'd like you guys to tell me, what did you gain last week? What did you learn last week? Okay, I start. Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, my name is Rudan Tekiminitom. Today I'm talking about personal branding for realtors. So last week we talked about a lot of things. Talked about consistency. I talked about brand identity. I talked about a whole lot of things. So today I'm starting from promotional materials. I'm starting from promotional materials. Now, as a realtor in this business, of course, you're marketing for a couple of companies. Um, Oh, sorry, I just saw this. Working on the mission statement for my brand. Thank you, Patricia, for dropping that. Thank you very much. So, as a realtor in the business, sometimes you may be marketing for a couple of companies. Yeah, different brands and all of that. Now, one of the things you do many times is you just pick promotional materials from each of these brands, and most of these promotional materials, of course, may not reflect your own brand because you're marketing for other companies. But what I want you to do today, some of the things you can do is start creating your own promotional material. So negotiate deals and discuss how you can convert those company materials to yours or personalize yours. I think that's a better word to use. Personalized branding materials. That's one of the ways you can actually put your brand out there, and one of the ways you can grow your personal brand. So let's take, for example, you're marketing a property on the airport road for Restherbridge Limited. Of course, the prices are the same. The details of the property is the same. You're picking the flyers of Restherbridge Limited, and then you can redesign it with your brand colors or redesign it with the information that is yours, and then also add there marketed by Billionaire Reds Realtor or marketed by Red Realty or something that makes it unique to you. So you're not just lifting every company's stuff and just pushing it directly like that. You have to personalize some of your promotional materials. I'm not saying you should remove the name of the company or you should take away the identity of the company that's developing the product or the project. I'm not telling you to make it look like you're not developing. No. But then while you maintain what the owner of the project have as their components in terms of details, locations, landmarks, development plans, and all of those things, and sometimes even their colors, find how to fuse in your own brand identity in there where it can reflect your own brand name. So you can use something like marketed by or something. Of course, last week I talked about the fact they have to spend on graphics, spend on your video, spend on all of these things. So reflect that in your marketing and promotional materials, whether be it video, whether graphic design, flyers, or social media posts. Make sure you reflect your brand identity in your promotional material. So that's what I'm starting from today. Then the next thing, the one I'm going to talk about and dwell in very much is appearance. Appearance. As a realtor, it's so annoying that many times realtors do not reflect whatever they're selling. They don't reflect the brand they want people to see. So there's a saying that you are addressed the way you dress. You know, it also applies in business. It applies in this business of ours. You can't be going to sell a product of 20 million naira, 10 million naira, 5 million naira, and you're looking like someone that is selling a product of 5,000 naira. You can't be selling land that is 3.5 million naira, and you look looking like a granite seller that's selling granite of 100 naira. You have to dress the part. You have to look like what you are selling. Appearance matters a lot in this business. A lot of realtors need to invest on how they look. Now, I'm going to talk about how you look in terms of two things, because sometimes you wonder, but I've not made sales yet. I'm just new. I don't have money to buy expensive. I'm not telling you to buy expensive clothes. I'm not telling you to buy expensive gadgets or expensive shoes. I'm not asking you to buy expensive things, but of course you can look expensive without actually, buying or owning expensive things. So it's very important that your appearance matters in your brand, in your personal branding, as regards selling real estate. So you have to dress well, you have to appear well. Now, there are different types of things talks about appearance. There's the part of dressing. There's the part of neatness. You can wear very fine, expensive clothes, but you're not neat. You can always also wear cheap clothes and you look very neat. Then the ability to combine colors and all of that. Look responsible, look sharp, look premium. For you to command certain kind of people to see you and listen to you and take you for whatever you're selling, you have to look in a certain way. It's very important. So you have to pay attention to your dress, what you wear, how you wear it, when you wear it, and where you wear it. Now, there's a whole lot of conversation about fashion. I'm not a fashion person. As a matter of fact, I'm not one of those persons that big on expensive stuffs like that. I am not. But the point is, you have to understand that there are dresses for different occasions and different places. And if one of the things that you want to do in this line of business is networking, so you want to go to conferences, go to events, go to social events, go to gatherings, go to churches, go to places where you can actually meet with people. We talk about social media marketing and all of that, but of course, there's also that part of traditional marketing where you eventually meet people on daily basis or on regular basis. You get to converse, network at events, social events, traditional marriage, every kind. So you have to understand that there are different events and different dresses for different places. And the truth is, the way you appear can actually command attention. And people will see you before they listen to you. People will look at you and take you to be serious, responsible, or premium before you get to even say whatever you want to say. So it's very important that as realtors, you pay premium attention to how you appear. Someone calls you for inspection, you don't look like someone that just came out from the kitchen, all sweaty, and all that. Many times, our traditional agents, you want to go for inspection somewhere, you call someone, and one guy just comes with slippers, with all sweaty, looking like somebody that I don't even know. And then you want to sell a property that is worth millions, and you come out looking like this. The truth is, I won't take you serious, and I don't feel like you have the capacity to be able to deliver me this product that I'm trying to buy, or this property I'm trying to buy from you. So I can just say, okay, no problem, and then I'll get back to you, and that is it. But when you appear responsible, oh, sorry, excuse me, tripod just shifted. Okay, but when you appear responsible, you appear serious, the person is going to take you serious. So appearance is very, very important. Very, 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 very important. Knowing how to dress for whatever occasion is very important. So that is the first point I'm sorry, my second point today. The first point talked about promotional materials. Customize your promotional materials, personalize it to your brand, to yourself. Second one is what? Look the part, look like what you are selling. Look like what you are selling. There's some meetings you might need to pay boats to take you to, even though you don't have a car yet. You don't need to fly back there. There's some places you need to go. You need to make it look like you are premium so that someone can know that you're going to go and do a transaction that is millions. So you don't have to look like you're coming to beg. So it's very important that your appearance sells, or it's in line with the product you are trying to sell. Very, very important. Then talking about appearance as well, their corporate outfits, you need to also learn to customize appearances for your brand. Now, I've talked about appearance in general. Now I'm talking about how you can personalize an appearance for your brand. So, for example, I don't know if you know Tunde Onadeko. Is it Onadeko or Deko? Something. That guy that does chairs from the slums. There is one unique thing about him, which is a particular cap. I think it's called filler. I don't know what that cap is called. Yeah, particular Yoruba cap. Even though he dresses in suits, he dresses in ties, or whatever. I remember when he had this chess challenge was it in the UK or in the US? And then that cap was a symbol. Now, you can actually make a particular type of appearance, a unique brand identity for yourself. You can make a particular type of fashion accessories, a unique brand identity for yourself. It can be a color of a tie. I always make reference to Tony Lumelu when you see him, black suits, red tie, black shoe, and red socks. That has become a unique brand identity for himself. That red tie, red socks, oh gosh. There are a lot of people I can mention that have been able to personalize a particular, it might be a common, it might be a particular shirt. For example, in the skit industry, Brent Jota started with a particular color of cloth. I'm sure it probably was just a cloth he had and just did the first kit. The second, I'm sure it may not be something he planned to start with. But then that green cloth has become a brand identity for Brain Jotter. The same way with the blue shirt and a small black tie and black trouser for Sabinus. These things have become consistency for many skit makers. So you find people coming in new. I have a friend who was at one time did some advert for motel. He does this ash colored shirt with black trouser. So it makes it consistent. When people see your content, when people see your product, they're able to identify, okay, this is this brand. So you can customize a particular, I'm not saying you should wear one cloth always. No, that's not what I'm saying. You can choose to, it can be a cap, it can be a brush, it can be a tie, it can be something, it can be a particular color of outfit, it can be a t-shirt that is branded, it can be a particular pattern of dressing. You always dress in natives. You always have this senator outfit. All your videos is senator, or all your appearance, you come in very well tailored senators. Like, there are ways you can do this thing. So we'll find a unique fashion sense or fashion brand that's unique to you, that can become part of your personal brand. You can eventually diversify later on, or try to add other things later on, but start with something that makes you unique and makes it easy for people to identify you and identify your product, and connect this product to you. And it might also be something you're doing based on region. So you're marketing products in projects or properties in Akwa Ibom, and you want to customize it to the cultural terrain. Or we are doing something in Abuja or in the north, you want to do something that works with the culture, but try to do something that find a fashion appearance, or might not be cloth or whatever, but find an appearance that's unique to you. It might be cultural, it might be property based, it might be something, but create something that's yours, own it, and let it become your brand identity. That in terms of fashion, in terms of appearance, now I'm talking about. So that when you go anywhere, people can say, this is this person. I remember some years ago, I will always wear tie, shirts, tucked in. I remember one time my friend said she has never seen a picture of me on social media without suit. Funny enough, those days I used to buy cheap suits, She's never seen a picture of me on social media without suit. That was something I was doing consistently over that period of time. Before I switched to consistently do natives over a period of time. So you can decide to find something that works for you, works for your brand, customize it, personalize it, and own it. So that is my second point. Then my third point is going to be communication as part of personal branding. Communication. Last week I talked about messaging. Now, messaging is your choice of pattern, how you want to communicate. Today I'm going to talk about detail of communication. Now, a lot of times depends on where you're trying to sell to. You need to be able to learn the lingua. So if you're in the real estate industry, you need to understand what are the terminologies and the lingua of the real estate industry. But even at that, you have to learn how you can communicate it to the common person who is not in the industry, who is interested in buying what you're selling. So some of the common lingua we have in real estate is square meter. And the other day I was teaching in the office, and I was telling my staff that what you know as square meter, when you go out to the street, a lot of people know 100 by 50, 100 by 50, 100 by 100, 50 by 50, and all of that. So how do you communicate your 500 square or your 450 square meter to someone who only knows 100 by 50? So you have to understand how these things are calculated, how these things are done, and be able to find how to communicate it in proper or in the street or in the layman terms to people. And now, knowing how to communicate is one of the things that can stand you out in your personal branding. So, I'm going to talk about communication in terms of knowing how to communicate. I'm going to talk about in terms of um, um, language and mannerisms, as well as some words that may be unique to you. So I'm talking about first knowing how to communicate based on the fact that there are a lot of people on the streets, they may not understand the terminologies in real estate. Some people don't know what acre is, they don't know what hectare is, they don't know what you mean by a plot and all of that. So you need to understand this thing and know it and know how to communicate it to that person on the street who may not know it like you know it. So learn to communicate. Let them understand. Then the second thing I'm going to talk about is that when it comes to speaking languages, learn to find a language that works with your client. Someone comes and the person is trying to buy a product from you, and the person is speaking pidgin, they speak English. Person they follow you speak pidgin, you are speaking English. You have to learn to how you can switch and come down to this person's conversation language. That way you can relate to this person better. Now, it doesn't mean that you're undermining your expertise or undermining your professionalism. No, it simply means that you're coming to communicate with this person at this person's level of understanding. And then if you're selling to people that probably have language barrier, or selling some products from certain locations and you need to communicate certain language or call the name of places and all of that, learn those terms, learn those words, understand them. And if you don't, find a partner, find somebody, find an interpreter that helps to communicate well. Because a lot of time people have lost deals because of trying to sound big, trying to sound all too professional. Simplicity is key in communication. Simplicity is key in communication. So be simple enough. Then also in communication, choice of words. A client or a prospective client might be coming from a bad place and may just say things anyhow. Your ability to bridle your tongue and know how to respond properly and know how to manage your words is one of those characteristics that can make you better positioned for transactions. Be professional in your conversations. Be professional. Leave people's personal life and all of that. And sometimes it's not everything that one client told you that you should share with another client. Some persons are very bad with coming on social media to say, a client said this. Oh, the other day I was with this client said this. And some persons, another thing I'm going to say is still on communication. You take a client to site for site inspection and you are shooting videos of the client and you just, without the consent of the client, you post it on social media. Or you seal a deal of a client, you take the document, you snap it or you video it, you put it on social media. Those things are wrong. You don't post a client's video without the consent of the client. Someone else might be turned off by that and might not transact with you because of something else they saw you do to another client. So you want to get consent before you share videos. And one of the easiest things you can really go for site inspection, you want to record is shoot the client from the back or from the sides. Don't allow the client's face to show. That way you're able to protect the identity of the client. Not everybody wants to buy property. I want people to know they're buying properties. Not everybody wants people to know their personal activities on social media. So keep it private. If you need to record a document for the sake of you're trying to prove a point, of course, there is the whole marketing part that you have to bring reviews and bring some experiences from previous testimonials and all of that. Of course, we understand you have to cover the name of the client. Cover the name of the client. Very important. So these are some of the things you need to learn in terms of communication. All of this come under communication, so that you don't put out people's identity that they don't want you to put out. You have to respect people's privacy. respect people's space, people's decision, and all of that. That's the third thing I'm talking about in terms of communication. Yeah. Then the next thing I'm going to talk about in terms of communication is, okay, I was talking about one before I came here. The fact that you need to learn to be professional. Some clients can be very, very annoying, and they can say words. You don't have to respond to all words. You have to learn self-control in how you communicate. You have to learn to bridle your tongue in how you communicate. It is not everything that is said to you that you have to respond to. Recently, I had an experience that a client called and said all sort of things over the phone and all of that. And all I was saying is, I'm sorry. I knew this client was wrong. All I said was, I'm sorry. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to get back to you when I get to the office. I'm going to confirm this, confirm that, confirm that. I'm sorry. And the next day, I got to the office. I confirmed what I needed to confirm. I called out to the client, and the client listened and found that he was wrong. But then I was still the one apologizing. Why? Knowing full well that this is my client and I intend to keep my client. The most important thing is the business. And of course, this client can refer you to another person tomorrow. But if out of the anger you have an outburst, you shout, you are wrong, you are this, you should have known this, you will be the one that we lost. You will be the one that we lost at the end of the day. Because this client probably had more business with you, or probably should have done more business with you. And with that, the client might go elsewhere. So you have to learn to control yourself, learn how to manage tempers, manage what I call it, angers or disagreement and all of that. Learn to be professional. Yeah. Give me a minute. Learn to be professional. Okay, sorry, the light went off. I had to put it back on. So you have to learn to be professional in your communication. And another thing about communication is keeping updates with clients. Now, some persons are so bad in communicating with prospects. So every day you are sending messages, you are bombarding me with different offers, bombarding me with your with your list of products, projects, all of this. No. Try to build relationship in your conversation, in your communication. Try to build relationship. Don't just throw things at me. Try to come into my space. Try to know where the client is. I'm not trying to say you should invade the personal space of the privacy of the client, but then something like, hi, good morning, sir, how was your day, how is your week going, have a beautiful week. That alone, okay. Oh, that's good. You ask me, hi, good day, sir, how is your week going? I'm sure you're having a great day, just wanted to check up on you. The person feels okay. The person feels important, feels that you're thinking about me, even though I know it's because you're trying to sell to me. But it's better than if you constantly send me, oh, our project is selling out, our price is this or this one, that. Oh, sir, why haven't you bought yet? Sir, we are still waiting for you to send me money for this product. Oh, sir, no, that's bombarding. And a lot of clients will be defensive. A lot of clients will become defensive or somehow withdrawn when you're always throwing. It's almost like you're attacking. So try to be subtle, try to communicate. Now, and part of communication, last time I talked about the fact that you have to be timely, you have to be prompt, your values. We talked about promptness, timeliness, integrity, and all of that. Part of communication is if you had an appointment and anything goes south, you have to communicate ahead of time. Good day, sir. We're supposed to schedule an inspection for 4 o'clock. I'm sorry, sir. Something came up. Can we do 4:30 or can we do 5 o'clock or can we do it a bit earlier? Communication is very, very important. Not that the client now calls you by 3:30 and be like, okay, where are we meeting? I'm sorry, sir. Something came up. No, you have to communicate ahead of time. Communication, a lot of people would value the relationship or transaction which you see you as being serious and professional if you learn to communicate well and communicate in time. So when you talk about communication, there are different aspects of communication. Your choice of words, language barrier, coming down to people's level, using the lingua of the industry, as well as trying to use the street terminology that people understand, as well as checking up on people, building a cordial relationship through conversations, communication. Don't bombard people on social media or on their DMs and all of that. And then if you have schedules that you cannot keep up to, or you need to talk to people, be professional, be civil. Be civil. If you know sabi spell, use AI and then edit it. Use Google to type the words. Don't go and write English that the person will now read the English and the person will be like, which kind of Oludo won't follow the business. See, when it comes to dealing with clients, you don't know what turns off who. So you have to try and find a common balance that works across board. One person's turn off might not matter with another person, but the next person, his own turn off, and people can be very petty, so it's very important that you communicate and you learn certain basic elements of communication. If you need to learn public speaking, you need to learn to talk to people, how to listen. Sometimes some clients want to tell you what they need, but you're so busy trying to sell what you have. No, you have to learn to listen to the clients. Listen to the client, listen to the person, and find solution based on what the person has told you. Listening skills should be one of the skills that a realtor needs to have. Very important. Because many times we are quick to try to sell a project. I have this property on Airport Road. It's sitting at so place. It's close to this, close to airport, close to Southern Atlantic, close to Pablo University, close to this, close to that, close to this, close to that. And you're not listening if it's actually Airport Road the person is interested in buying. So sometimes you want to start the conversation from, okay, so sir, what are you looking for? What are you looking to get? What is your budget range? And how do you want to go about it? So let the person tell you, okay, I need a property where I can buy accessible to town. I work so place. I need something that has close proximity where I'm working, and I want to buy and build it in the next 6 months and move my family in and all of this. Now, when you listen, you can also, okay, based on what you have, the property we have right now is on the Airport Road. Now, it might not be for your immediate need, but for the future, this property can give you better economic value. It can give you can buy for rental, and all of that. But for now, if this is what you need, can you give me the next 3 days to find a property in certain location that fits this your budget and fits this your plan? Of course, the truth is sometimes what you have may not be what your client wants. See, this is reality. Some persons have preferred location for what they want, and sometimes the property you're marketing may not be in that location. It doesn't mean that you should force your own down the throat of the client. No, understand what the client wants. As much as you are trying to sell what you have, offer the client the option to find something for him or her in that location. Even I, that I'm a developer and run a business, that of course should be limited to selling just properties within my properties that I own. Just within the week, I took a client for inspection that needed something that was not within the region which our properties are. I offered the client, I'll get something for him in the region of, choice that the client wanted. Why? Because everybody has a need, and before they came to you, they knew what they wanted. And it can further strengthen this trust and the relationship between you and that client if you are able to find them what they wanted out of what you already have. Truth is, tomorrow they may come back for what you eventually have. So you have to listen. As you listen, you prefer solution based on what you listened, based on what you've heard, and not try to force what you have on your client. I'm sure we are following. So right now is where I'm going to ask if you're following, if you're hearing me, and I'd like you to comment. I'd like you to drop an emoji, or just drop following me, or drop something you're learning, drop something you're getting from the class. I like that kind of feedback, so that I know that I'm teaching and people are learning something. So I like to see that. Okay, drop something you're learning from the class. I'm waiting. Okay, thank you very much for following me. Thank you very much. Okay. So I've talked about, for today, talk about customizing and personalizing your own brand marketing and promotional materials. I talked about appearance. Okay. I talked about appearance, your dressing, I talked about the fact that you have to dress like what you are selling. If you're going to events, you need to network and all of that. It doesn't cost much to book a boat and appear well and appear good. I also talked about communication. Yes, don't bombard a client. Simplicity is key in communication, effective communication, and all of that. So thank you very much. It shows that you are following, not forcing what I have on the client, but offering to provide their desire for them. That's true. Thank you very much. Yeah. There are some people that have the habit of sending BCs. Please, I beg you in God's name, repent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedbacks. I appreciate it. Now, some persons are good with sending BCs. In fact, there's this particular realtor I met in Abuja, which every morning he sends me BCs. BC in a broadcast message on WhatsApp. I had to archive his contact. Now, I want to keep his contact because I may need something tomorrow, or I may go into Abuja and probably, but I don't want to see or hear anything from him. I'm not the one that I'm quick to block or delete people's contacts, so most I'll just archive it. There are a lot of realtors, a lot of us that they've archived your messages. Some people have even blocked you because of your constant, bombarding with messages and sending BCs. So if you need to send BC, personalize it, and don't do it routinely. Do it in such a way that, so don't do it every day. Do it certain schedule, maybe once a month, maybe once in 2 months. You send those kind of messages and you personalize it. Don't do dear sir Oma. So if possible, because people love to feel important, people love to feel like, okay, this is meant for them alone. This conversation is between you and them, and you're not just putting a whole lot of people in the group. And some people do there's another thing people do, realtors do. They create a WhatsApp group and pack all their clients inside. It's terribly wrong. And then you pack clients inside and start bombarding with messages and saying all what and all not. Yes, not just selling, but being able to know clients' needs and preferences. Yes. So don't bombard. Sorry, don't pack. Don't put all your prospective clients in a group. Don't do that. Don't do that. And if you need to do that. Get the consent of the clients, send them invite, and let them join on their own. Get the consent of the client, send them invite, and let them join on their own. And you have to be able to manage those groups to be able to get them to not feel like you are disturbing people's spaces. Very important. So communication is one of the ways you can actually build your personal brand. People can say, I love the way this guy talks. I love the way this guy explains this product. I love the way this guy talks about this product. I love the way this guy takes time to take me through the process of purchasing. I love the way this guy does this. I love the way this guy. That can be something that sells you out. That can be something that sells you. Proper communication builds trust and credibility. Proper communication builds trust and credibility. Over time, people can call you. In fact, there are clients that they don't want to buy properties. You even they're not buying properties from us. They want to call us because over time we're able to communicate with them and they will build trust. So if we say this thing is a good buy, they'll go ahead and buy. If you say no, that is the end. There are some clients that they just need you to say go ahead and they will go ahead. Before it gets to that point, it is a function of how you built the relationship, how you've communicated in the past, how trustworthy, how much of integrity and character they've been able, to see and come to accept from you. That is how they are able to know, okay, if this person said property is a good buy, then I'm going to buy it. I remember one time somebody wanted to buy a property and reached out to Esther, and it turned out that over time she didn't eventually buy the property from that particular property because I think is it the documentation or the location? This was the property in Abuja, or the location was not what she wanted. But eventually she kept communicating. They kept the communication until she saw another property somewhere else. And funny thing is that we were not marketing this property. And then she reached out, like she saw this property so please. She wants to know if it's a good buy. We're not marketing the property, but she reached out to us. Now we have to go and do due diligence for this client because of the client has trusted us over time from communication, from conversations. And this is a client that was probably not even met us physically. That's the funny thing. And then now we needed to do due diligence for the client, and we came back and said, okay, it's a good buy. Go ahead. We vetted the company, we vetted the products, and it's a good buy. And the client bought, and he was so happy. That is trust. Trust is built on relationship, build relationships, build communication, proper communication. Don't just, sometimes when people call, don't be robotic. Some of us are very robotic in our conversations. So we just have this auto response. A lot of you that have this WhatsApp, then someone will just send you hi. Oh, welcome to I'm trying to find in Red Homes and Properties. We offer you these services in this. No, I'm not looking for that. I want to talk to a person. I'm not looking to talk to a robot. Some of us have this very long customized message that when someone just sends you a hi on WhatsApp, someone just see your status and communicate, this looks good. Before you know, there are a lot of my friends that I've stopped chatting with because of that thing. I can't just send hi to you as a friend and then I'm seeing plenty things. I know they gave you business WhatsApp and you want to use it to, no, manage certain things. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a short auto response message. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome. I'm available right now. I'm not available right now. Welcome to Red's Properties World. That's all. Don't do long, boring stuff. Avoid it. It doesn't mean that you're a professional. It doesn't make you special. People want to talk to you as a person. And then some of you already have this typed response that when the person said, okay, I'm interested in your property, the next thing is, okay, our property is located at 121, location, this is the price is this, the price is this. No, don't do that. I'm interested in your property. Okay, thank you very much. I'm interested in property. Which of the properties are you interested in? Is it this? Is it this? Is this? Or the person is coming from a particular ad. You welcome the person to your DM and tell the person about the product. Let the person ask questions and you respond. Let the person ask. Let it be a conversation. Don't be a robot that you have to auto respond. A lot of realtors do that. A lot of realtors are like robots. They do that. And it's so wrong. Many times when I want to buy something from maybe an online vendor and I reach out to you, it takes me to your WhatsApp and I drop a message and I'm seeing plenty things, I get turned off. That's the truth. And then another thing is this: some of us take so long to respond to messages. Now, I'm still talking about communication. In fact, a matter of fact, today's class is mostly on appearance and communication. So there's a lot of things to talk about communication, because sometimes we run ads, we do a lot of things that brings leads, and we lose those leads because of our communication. We lose some prospects because of our communication. So I'm taking time to dwell on this. Yeah. So I'm talking about response time. Some of us take time to respond to messages. You run ads, for God's sake. You posted your property for sale on Facebook or on Instagram, for God's sake, and someone reaches out to you in your DM, or someone comments on that post, and the person commented by 9:20 a.m. and you're coming by 4:30 p.m. to come and respond. Let me tell you something. The moment someone is seeing your post and the person comments, trust Facebook and Instagram algorithm. They will show the person other posts similar to yours, other ads similar to yours. The next thing is the person is also seeing options to communicate with, options to comment, options to send DMs to. Whoever responds faster stands a better chance. That is the truth. Whoever responds faster stands a better chance. So if someone is communicating with you, you need to communicate back as fast as possible. You need to respond as fast as possible. Maximum is within the hour. Except you are unavoidably offline. Maybe you're in a meeting, long stretched meeting, or you have a dead battery, or you're out of network coverage area. But don't leave messages, and I'm not talking about other messages that has no business with selling. I'm talking about messages that has to do with selling your properties. I'm being specific now, so you don't feel like I'm telling you to go and sleep on social media and be answering everybody that sends you a message. No. If someone's talking about buying your product, it's talking about asking questions about what you're selling, you should respond as fast as possible. Your response time helps the person to be able to keep up the conversation, and always make your conversation open-ended. Open-ended. Let it not be conclusive. Allow the person to ask questions. Allow the person to say the next thing. Answer the questions, but make it, for example, the person says, what are your sizes? We have 300 square meter and 500 square meter. Which will you be interested in? That's a question. But it's okay. I'm interested in 300 square meter. He said, okay, thank you, sir. Would you want to buy outright, or you would want to do spread payment? But it's okay. I think I'm interested in outright purchase. Okay, wow, that's beautiful, sir. How would you like the transaction done? When would you like it done? Now, the conversation makes this person answer. You know, like you will now say, what are your sizes? We have 300 and 500 square meter. That's where it ends. No. After you tell the person you have 300 and 500 square meters, you ask, which are you interested in? He throws the question back to the person, and the person answers you, I'm interested in the 300 square meter. And so, thank you very much for your interest. Would you like to do the spread payment option or the outright purchase? And the person says, okay, I'm interested in outright purchase. The next thing is, okay, thank you very okay. Now don't be doing thank you very much. I'm going to do thank you very much after every response. And the next thing you want to say, okay, how would you like the transactions? Do you want to come to the office? You want to do it over, over WhatsApp, online. You want to get on a video call. You want to get on a call. Give your clients options. See, one of the things that will make people to trust you and make people like to do transactions at convenience. Give your clients options. Always don't appear so desperate. And one of the ways you don't appear desperate is when you give your clients options. Would you like to do this transaction over the phone? Do you want us to get on a video call? Do you want to come to the office? Do you want us to come to your office? Several options. The client picks whatever is convenient based on the options. And then you're able to seal the deal. And the client says, I'll get back to you. Okay, so do you want us to remind you? Should I remind you? Do you want me to reach out to you in a week's time, or in 2 weeks' time, or in a month's time, or in 3 days' time? Don't just, I'll get back to you, say okay, and then the conversation ends there. You have to learn how to hold conversations, own the conversation, master the conversation, communicate, and let the client be able to say that, okay. Let it list somewhere. And the end, of course, is you want to sell. So it's very important that we communicate properly. It's 9:03. And I've been talking for 56 minutes. So I think I've come to the end of the class for today. I don't know if there's any question. I'd like to take questions now. You can drop questions on the comment section. And I'm going to try and share some of the comments that I'm seeing. If I see a question, I'm going to share it on the screen and I'm going to respond to the questions. So, okay, there's no question. There's only a few contributions to the class. Okay, so I'm just going to do a short recap and then I'm going to bring this class to an end. Since there's no question, let me quickly run through. Okay. Run through my notes. Okay, I wasn't actually listing the points in order. I was just talking about everything the way it was flowing. So I'm just going to run through my notes now. Talking about conversation or communication. Like I said, simplicity is key in communication. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Of course, last week I talked about find your own unique terminologies or language. Find a catchphrase. Find something that works for you. It's still part of communication, So identify your unique catchphrase. Use simple language. If you need to communicate to people in Pidgin for you to sell, use Pidgin. You need to use Ibibio. You need to use Yoruba. You need to use Igbo. You need to use a language, a vernacular rather. Do that. The point is communicate. There's some persons that may come to you. They have the money, but they don't understand the English you're speaking. They even speak Igbo. Calm down. If you cannot speak Igbo, find somebody that speaks Igbo. Make the person your interpreter. Communicate to the person, explain the products, and sell. Very important. So, you have to be authentic. Maintain consistent messaging. And all of that. I talked about the fact that find your own unique communication style, find your own unique messaging. I talked about it last week. Your own unique messaging. Yes. So adapt your communication style. Of course, I talked about the fact that you go out. One of the other ways you build clientele, build prospects is you go out to events, you network events, social events, and corporate events, and all of that. And when you get there, conversation. Some of us don't know how to converse when we get into events. You go into corporate meetings and you don't even know where to start conversations from. Let me give you a clue. It might just be, hey, I love your shirt. Your shirt looks nice. Oh, looks really nice. That is the conversation starter. Oh, your tie looks nice. Where did you get it? Oh, I love this tie. Where can I get one? That can be a conversation starter. And then something like, oh gosh, you look like somebody. So sorry, you look like somebody. Oh, sorry, my name is Radiant, and oh, like, there are different ways, but a lot of people don't even know how to start conversations, especially in corporate or social events. So people get into the midst of people and they just walk around, they don't even know how to start a conversation. And another thing is this: some persons may know how to start a conversation, but they don't know how to get into an existing conversation. So you come into two, three people are already standing having a conversation, and then maybe you're there, you don't even know what to contribute because of you're completely oblivious of what they're talking about. So you need to also build your knowledge base so that you're able to know how to come into conversations. Because you can't just come and just say, hi, my name is, and I said, no. There have to be a starting point where you come into the conversation and then introduce whatever you're selling. So you need to have knowledge of crypto, knowledge of tech space. So if you're looking to sell to the guys in the tech space, then build your knowledge base, get some information about the tech, understand about, you don't have to be a pro, but just know a little entry point into conversations that makes you sound knowledgeable and makes you worth listening to before you talk about it. Oh, I actually sell properties to realtors. I focus to tech guys. I focus on selling properties to guys in the tech industry. As a matter of fact, we're developing an estate and a tech community. And then someone is interested and we're like, understand as tech guys, some you guys need light, you need this, you need that. And we're trying to build something that fits your needs, so you'll be able to deliver your service. You don't want a client calling you talking about working on their server, and then you're able to have some little knowledge that makes you sound smart. Very important. So you have to be knowledgeable. Okay, there's a question. How do you communicate with a client that has a bad experience in real estate? People have several experiences, and if someone has a bad experience, you're just you might be the scapegoat the person is pouring the experience on. So first things, you want to listen to the client's experience. You want to listen to what happened, what went wrong. The client might have a lot of fears, worries, a lot of things. Listen first and foremost. And then when you listen, you begin to address the issues in the client's fears or worries. So let's take an example. Someone bought a property from a company in 2021, which is about 4 years from now, 4 years ago, right? Yeah, and up until today, being the 18th of May in 2025, this person hasn't yet been allocated or hasn't yet seen or know where the property is. That's a bad experience, especially if this person has been reaching out to the company and asking to see his property or asking for document for location, allocation, and all of that, and the company is not forthcoming. It's a terrible experience. Now, you are trying to sell a property to this person in the same environment or within the same state or location, and this person is remembering the experience he had with this company. Probably someone had also come to him or her, just like you have come to market that particular product the person bought. It's a terrible experience. So the first thing you want to know is that I'm not interested in, I'm not serious. First, I want to hear that, please, what happened? Why do you say we are scam or we are not serious or whatever? Now, because you can only provide solution or answer the person's question where you know where the pain point is. So the person can start. That's how you used to do. I bought from so company. They said they're going to do. They said they're going to do. They said they're going to. They said they're going to do this, and they've not done anything. I've not seen my property up until today. This, that. Now, as you are listening, you are finding answers. So first is okay. I understand you had a bad experience. I understand this and this and this is what happened. But I'd like you to listen to me for just a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. First and foremost, this company you bought from is not the same company with us. Ours is different. For example, we have this project, so place. Now that's where testimonial comes in. So you use testimonials to knock off and answer the fears or the pain point of this person. You bought like this. This is when you bought it. We, those that bought so time, already gotten theirs, started developing, they have access to it, they have their documents. You don't have documents, we've already given documents. In fact, people that bought in January this year have gotten documents. We did allocation at so time last year, and they already have access to their land. That's the difference between mine and whoever you bought from. And so basically the point is, you will bring your own experiences, bring answers to the person's pain points, bring solutions, and sometimes offer the person some freebie. You can offer the person to go for inspection for free. Of course, inspections are meant to be free. Some people actually pay for inspections. Offer the person free consulting, offer the person free information. Like basically find something that makes sense that you can give to this person that allows the person to be able to build trust in you. Don't be big on trying to sell to the person first. Help the person to regain the trust by communicating, share testimonials, share project progress, share your price progression and project. Talk about the fact that started this project so time, you've done this, you've done that, you've done this, you've done this. So like antecedents and all of that. Bring the person to par. Invite the person to the office. Recently, someone wanted to buy a property, went for inspection, and the person never knew our office. And I noticed the person was a bit skeptical because he probably has never been to an office. I said, the person, no problem. You can come to the office whenever you want. You can finish the deal. And when the person came to the office, he closed the deal. Some persons have several different reservations based on previous experiences. So find what the experience is and provide solution to that experience and use that to draw the person close and build trust. And with that, you can eventually sell to the person. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Please let me know if I've been able to answer your question. So I was still running through my notes. Talked about the fact that networking is one of the important. You have to learn how to network when you go out to events. Learn how to communicate online as well. Develops. Last week I talked about develops storytelling abilities. Talked about the fact that you can sell a product without really coming to sell. So you can start by telling stories. I love to tell stories a lot. For example, I can start with the fact that this year government decided to do a lot of infrastructure projects been going on, blah blah blah, and all of this and all of that. I can talk about the fact that and then government suddenly decided to do a coastal road, and then you can say it in a very comic way and all of that. And the point you're driving at is the fact that you have a project that's close to the coastal road, just where you are, and you want to market it. But it started with from something else, with the fact that Tinubu's government is this and all of that and all of that. Oh, government has been very kind, government has been very this. You can just find entry point, find story, find something that people can relate with, tell the story. You can use PG, you can make it sarcastic, you can whatever. But the point is, find a way to communicate that's interesting and endearing, that brings people to the point of what you're selling. Very important. So storytelling is one of those ways. The person that asked this question, I want to be sure that I answered it properly. Okay, then the last, of course, I talked about you need to go and learn public speaking, practice public speaking. That will help you to know how to communicate effectively and communicate well. And then also talked about your written communication. If you don't know how to spell, use Google. Learn to write properly. Learn to spell words properly. Learn to make good sentences, like correct sentences. Correct sentences. Learn to write properly. I can't emphasize how important it is for you to write properly. Some of you are good with using short words, abbreviations, and all those things when you are writing, especially when you are talking with clients on WhatsApp. Please don't do that. There are there are certain words that a lot of us misuse. For example, we want to use the word I apostrophe M. Just write am, which is wrong. Some of you don't know where to put has, had, have. I'm not here to teach English language, but I'm trying to say is that these are simple, common mistakes which you should improve on in your written communication. Because there are some clients that it might be a turn off for them. So it's best you write well. Don't use shortcuts. If you want to spell that, THAT apostrophe S, don't use DAT apostrophe S. No, don't do that. Don't do that. If you need to spell words, spell them in full and all of that. Write well. Write well. Write well is very important. So I thought about you have to listen. Listen. Part of communication is listening. You have to listen for you to communicate. Listen to your clients. Know their pain point. Communicate properly. Show. Sometimes people have bad experiences. Don't be a robot. Show empathy. Show that you concern. Show that you feel for them. So that you know where they're coming from. And then use that as a means to now provide solution. Don't just force things down people's throats. Somebody's looking for property elsewhere. Don't just try to sell what you have. So that you understand, oh, you're willing to help out. Basically, that is all the things I said today. That's the point. And then I thought about appearance initially. And I'm sure that with this, you've been able to learn and understand how you can build, develop your personal branding to help you to sell real estate. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is my time. And I'd like to say good night. But before I say that, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as I'm inviting you to join a realtor community called Resta Clan. Didi will send out the invites and invite you to join the community. If you haven't joined before, you should join. And we have properties here in the city of Uyo along the airport road. It's called the Review Residential Estates. We also have off Mbakishet Road at the Korotonye. It's called Dreamsville Estate. And these are properties you can market. And we invite you to market. We pay commissions for realtors who market our properties. So that's that. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you. Have a good night.